Welcome to Rose Red Homestead. We are so grateful for the members of our community. We learn from you as much as you learn from us. It's a very exciting process for us. We are deeply grateful to those of you who comment and who subscribe and who share our videos with others. It really makes a difference in getting the news out, the information out from our videos to other people who may benefit from it. And our whole point is to help everyone become more self-reliant and ensure their own food security and be prepared for emergencies in case whatever may come. This is an uncertain world that we live in, and while we certainly do hope for the best, we prepare for the worst, actually, and hopefully we can all work together and help each other get to that point. Today we're going to do pita bread. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've had several requests for precisely pita bread, wanting to know how to make it so that there's a bubble in the middle and the pita bread actually will open up. And that's one request. The other request is to do flatbreads. I've done a lot on yeast breads. We have done one flatbread, which is tortillas. This is our second flatbread. Flatbreads will be very convenient and easier for us to do than yeast breads will if the grid goes down for an extended period of time and we are limited in how we are able to prepare foods. So pita bread is fantastic. It is fairly easy to do once you get the hang of it. And so our purpose today is to help you get the hang of it. So we're going to start on that in just a moment. Pita bread takes very few ingredients. It takes flour and water, salt, sugar, oil, and yeast, and that is it. And it is more about the technique than it is about the ingredients. But there is something about the ingredients that is very, very important, and that is, I checked a whole lot of recipes online, tried several out. Pita bread will last a long time in refrigeration. You can freeze it, or you can just keep it out on your countertop for several days and it still will be very, very good. You can use it as a meal accompaniment. You can also use it for sandwiches, grilled sandwiches or regular sandwiches. When we get done today, I'm just home from work. I've just barely changed my clothes. And so it will be dinner time for us about the time that these pita will come off the griddle. Now, here is the information about the ingredients that is very, very important. This is a soft dough. Everyone said whose recipes I looked at, this is a soft dough, it's a soft dough. And so in order to ensure that this is a soft dough, we have to measure very, very carefully. And we are going to be very accurate in our measurements. And the best way to be accurate is by weighing out the ingredients. And when I weigh, I use the metric system. So I will be weighing out the ingredients in grams. I hope that you have a kitchen scale that will do both ounces and grams because it is very convenient to know both. So I'm going to start in just this clean bowl with 375 grams of flour. And that's it right there. So I'm just going to dump that right here in the bowl. And then I want 240 grams of water that is just the right temperature for our yeast. This water needs to be between 100 and 105 degrees. And so I've got it right now. It is 101 degrees, so that will work. So into the flour, I am going to dump the yeast, which is 2 teaspoons of yeast, and I will be putting this recipe at the bottom of the video. This is 1 tablespoon of sugar plus 1 teaspoon of salt that I'm just mixing in. Now before I add the liquid ingredients, I'm just going to mix up the dry ingredients, and then I'm going to put in my 240 grams of water that is about 103 degrees, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now here's where we want to really pay close attention to the method that we're going to be using. This dough, of course, needs to be soft, and it needs to be soft from the beginning. So I'm just going to stir these ingredients together until they look sort of raggedy, about like this. Then I'm going to turn it out on this countertop. Dumped it out on the countertop and I'm pulling it together. Now we need to knead it for 10 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
It's very sticky. And after about 4 minutes, it's going to start developing those gluten strands, which is what we want. And it's going to be much smoother. So I'm going to continue kneading this for 10 minutes and then I'll bring you back when we're done kneading it. The buzzer just barely went off. And see how nicely this has come together. How smooth this dough is. It was really sticking to my hands at first, but I just kept kneading and kept kneading. I did not add any additional flour. So here it is in a nice ball, and I'm going to now oil this bowl with just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm actually going to use the bread to smear it around, the dough. So here we have the dough in the bowl, and I'm going to cover it. And this part is really important. We want it to double in size, and that's going to be probably about, in my kitchen right now, it probably is going to take it about between 30 and 40 minutes. Hey Siri, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, counting down.
And so I'm going to come back and check it in 30 minutes, and if it's ready, then we'll go on for the next step, and we will bring you back. It has been 40 minutes, and this has doubled, which is great. And so I can poke it, and it comes out slowly. That means it is proofed. So I'm going to turn this out on the countertop, and I'm just going to knead it to knock it down. I want to degas it, get all those air bubbles out. So we're going to do this very systematically. I'm going to weigh the whole blob. Hey Siri, what is 716 divided by 8?
716 divided by 8 is 89.5.
Okay, so each of these is going to be about 90 grams. There we go. Now it's grabbing. Okay, so there's one of our balls. I'm going to keep doing this. With the flour out of the way, it was interfering with the ball's ability to grab the countertop. They were just sliding around with the flour. So I'll use that flour when we come back after these have rested. Okay, so this one now is ready to go under my hand. You can really tell when it grabs the countertop. It's not sliding, it is actually just rolling. And when you do your job right, there's very little indentation on the underneath side. Okay, so we are now going to cover these with a tea towel. So we will be back after 10 minutes. Them one at a time, and I am going to dip them in this flour this time. Get good and floured on both sides, and then bring them over here and just flatten them with my fingers. And then we're going to roll them out into about between 6 and 7 inch rounds. And we will come back when we have all 8 rolled out. Here they are. They now get another rest, this time for 30 minutes. And we're going to cover them with these tea towels. And when we come back, we will be ready to put them to the fire. So we will see you shortly. Here comes the very most hard part for me. And that is the baking part. Some people do these in the oven, others do them like we're going to do them right here in the frying pan. So this is my cast iron pan, and it is very, very hot. I've been preheating it on high for about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So sometimes I get them to puff, sometimes I don't. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And those of you that do get them to puff, okay, now see, this one is starting to bubble up just a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over on the other side. Okay, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And they're just supposed to puff right up like a balloon. So come on, baby, do it. All right, come on, keep it coming, keep it coming. Dang it. These are burning.
It's too hot.
All right, let's see how we do on this one. The way I have gotten them to go sometimes is when they haven't puffed up, I'll flip them back and forth between sides and then they usually go. But I don't know, these seem a little bit stubborn tonight. I'm wondering is if I just leave it on this side and let the whole thing puff up instead of flipping it over the way they say to. Come on, get over there to the edges. All right, let's flip it. There it goes.
There it goes.
Yay. There we go. There we go. Yay. Okay, yay, we got one to go. Well, it is puffing here.
Yeah.
There it goes. Woohoo!
There it goes. Yeah.
We have a success. Another success. This is great. So we had about 3 that really puffed nicely. It was maybe this one. And we had others that puffed a little bit. And the first one, the pan was too hot. So perhaps you'll be able to learn from what we did here, but this is what's going to happen now. And so we're going to take one of these that seemed to do a pretty good job and just cut it right in half. And we have a partial pocket. So I'm just going to simply take my knife and finish the pocket. It is not ideal, but these are just soft and delicious. And so when that happens, that's just what I'm going to do. Oh, it smells really good. Then I'm going to take some of this cranberry mustard and spread on the inside here. And I'm going to add some lettuce, some cucumbers, a few little tomatoes, a green pepper and a red pepper, and last of all, I'm going to slather in some of this wonderful ham that Jim just brought home today. Then I'm going to put a little bit more of this mustard just right over the ham. And here we have our supper. Shall I take a bite?
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. The pita is still warm. That mustard has a lovely little sweet mustard flavor to it. Perfect complement to the ham. This will be fabulous. So, I'm not giving up on these. This is about the 5th time that I have made these. This is about my success rate each time. So, I'm going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, practicing more and more and more until I can get every single one of them to puff. I may try the alternative of doing them in the oven. Some people have greater success in the oven, but the problem is I won't have an oven if the grid goes down the same as this oven right here. So I'm trying to do it as if we were in a grid down situation and needed this for part of our food security. I can do it on my cast iron over any one of a number of fires outside in our off-grid kitchen. So that's what I'm really working toward. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give me some hints on what I can do better to make these puff every single time for those of you that are already masters at this. This recipe is wonderful. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you at our next video.